So you're a first-time landlord or looking to become a first-time landlord buying your first property. But what considerations and risks should you consider before you embark upon your investment journey? Great question, and it is one that is answered by the property experts panel members in this video. Ian has asked the question, as a first-time landlord, what risks do I face? Responsibilities, tenant laws, and insurance. Well, gazumping is one of your worries to have concerns over. But what other things do we need to worry about? And I go to Bronwen and Tim on this. Tim's not got by the way, audience, if you've not spotted Tim's flash, very sharp haircut, I have. So we'll be commenting about that shortly. But in the meantime, Bronwen, Tim, what's your thoughts on the risks for the first time landlord?
I also want to bring Teresa in so she can say more than no, because again, the national body of property investing is the NRLA, and they've got a huge amount of resources and things that cover this sort of thing. So I'm sure Teresa's probably got a view as well. I've forgotten what the question is now.
What risks do first time landlords have?
Well, the big thing about first-time landlords is you've got to understand what is property investing. You've got to have some education, some knowledge. You can watch YouTube if you want to. You can listen to social media, but you won't always get the right answers. So come and speak to me, speak to other people who offer training, get some basic training under your belt, and then you can invest with confidence and understand what the risks are. So I'm not going to go through them all now, but I can certainly share if someone emails me, share a bit more information. But I'm sure Tim's got some views as well.
I think there are so many issues here, it's hard to know where to start really, and I think that's why it's very important, as Bronwen says, to have a team, have a power team, etc. Because there isn't just one person to go to for this. So for example, there are legal issues to start off with. You have to know what you can and can't do. There are things you can and can't do under your mortgage, which depends on your particular circumstances. And then if you have to get to renting out property, there are plenty of stuff, whether it's building regulations or rental, or how to keep your tenants' money, those kind of things. So I think the danger is, there are so many things we can't really get started here, but make sure either you have a very thorough education across the board or find specialists to do it for you. I'll be honest with you, that's certainly what I do. I prefer not to get too much in detail in running the property, so I have agents that run the property and they know exactly how to do HMOs, they know exactly how to do service, they understand the regulations, so I don't need to. I'll get a builder to do the building rig, so I don't have to. But if you want to do everything, then you're going to have to spend a lot of time because there are a lot of risks. And I think one thing I would say is the world is becoming more and more regulated. In the Western world, no regulator has ever been defunded. Regulators are increasing, and I think we'll see increase. Now the British government are very keen on big government, all political parties are. We're going to see more and more regulation. So you have to be even more careful, because sometimes the consequences can be quite severe. Sometimes fines, disqualifications, and even sometimes prison for some things if you don't get it right.
Just out of interest, you said Western world. I felt like I was listening to Pet Shop Boys in the 1980s when you said that. Ross, there are risks associated with the first-time house buy or property investment buy. Surely when they are looking at a property, they don't even know what they're looking for. There's got to be huge risks of someone doing that on their own.
Absolutely. And again, as Bronwen said, education is the way forward. I look at properties every single day of the week, and the things that you find, the ones that you think are the golden opportunities, can sometimes turn into a nightmare. My course, don't want to plug it too much, is all about what to look for in terms of the building, and then really who to speak to, what to do with it. My golden rule: know what you're going to look at, know what you're going to want to do with the property before you look at it. And secondly, whatever you think is the cost, add 20% to it, because I guarantee you the cost will not be the cost at the end. And let's face it, if it's less cost, nobody's going to moan. If it's more cost and you haven't budgeted for it, you can end up in a whole pile of a mess.
Indeed, you can. That's a bit of a worry, isn't it? I could just go back to the questions that we had then. So Julian's asked a question, with 20k cash, what will be the best first project to start with? Teresa, have you got a comment to make on that one? Or are you commenting?
I seriously feel rejected there, Simon. I feel like it's a backlash from me saying no.
You're not quick enough to put your hand up.
Oh God, right, it's down now. But anyway, I do have something to say. So assuming that you've now invested in the property and you are a landlord, so the biggest risk for a landlord is basically, are you going to get your rent, and is the tenant going to look after your property? And we could also add in there, is there going to be any antisocial behaviour? So to mitigate those risks, you are legally required anyway to provide a decent home with no category 1 hazards in there. But yeah, I would recommend that you basically take a landlord's fundamentals course. Even if you get an agent, I would recommend that anyway, just so that you know exactly what your responsibilities are and how to mitigate those, because generally you can, if you've started the tenancy correctly, i.e. the condition of the property, and you started the correct reference check-in and so on and so forth, and contracts in place, then you can basically lower your risk on that front.
Very good. And that's much better than no, isn't it?
I thought so.
See what happens when you try.
I've recovered myself.
Okay, we're back over to Slick. On Tim.Bishop.
Yeah, it's a very quick point, but actually it's a very general point, and I think it's a very good point Teresa makes about the idea of going on a course, even if you're going to give it to an agent. If you don't know the basics, you can't ask the right questions, and a lot of experts, a lot of you people, will not always tell you what you need to know unless you ask the right questions. So actually, getting to know enough about an issue, don't have to be a specialist to be able to ask the right questions, is essential, because a lot of advisors simply are very passive and then only tell you what you need to know if you ask.
I do hope that you enjoyed that video. Please don't forget to press the like button on this video if you found it useful, and subscribe so that you do not miss any future videos. But please don't stop there. We have plenty more content for you to watch, and I think that this video is the one that you should watch next.